Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here from Look for Warriors, and I want to talk about Think and Grow Rich again. Yes, I know I've talked about it before. Think and Grow Rich. He talks about the power of persistence, and this is really, really important. He talks about it in a way, do you ever get that feeling you're asleep, you're having a nightmare? Have you ever been, I don't get that many nightmares, but I have had the feeling where I'm asleep and I wake myself up from the sleep. But he's talking about when you have a nightmare. You're having a nightmare. And I think we've all had times in our life where it feels like an ongoing nightmare that you need to get control of. But he talks about being asleep and being in a nightmare. And suddenly you get control of one finger. Like conscious control of one finger that you can move in the real world. And then through persistence and concentration, you get control of all of your fingers to the point where you can move a hand. And then you get to the point where you're moving your whole arm. And then you're moving two arms. And then, I can move my legs. And then you're awake, you've woken yourself up and you've come out of this nightmare. He talks about that. He talks about the power of persistence. You need real concentration and persistence to get yourself out of that sleeping nightmare. Start moving. Start coming back, to wake up and come back to reality. And I think we've all, it's such a great analogy. I listen to it and I'm thinking to myself, that's an amazing analogy. Because I think we've all had parts of our lives that I felt like being in an ongoing, consistent nightmare. Have we? Maybe it's just me. Maybe all your lives have been perfect. So it could be just me. But you could be in that point of your life where it feels like it's an ongoing nightmare that you can't get out of. And through concentration and persistence, you start moving. You start moving a little bit. Just like in that nightmare where you start moving your finger, then all your fingers, then one hand, then one arm. And you get to the point where you wake up from the nightmare. And I'm listening to that, I'm thinking to myself, that's such a great analogy of life. Sometimes we all need to wake up, and we're coming to a time, I believe we're coming into a time called the Age of Aquarius. And you may have noticed there's a lot of crazy things happening now. We have COVID, we have so many protests, so many incredible things happening. There's always something happening. If you go into YouTube every day, there's something new, some new crazy thing that's happening almost every day. And it's because we're beginning to wake up. We're beginning to come out of the nightmare. Because you may have noticed it we go through seasons. We go through seasons. There's a fall or autumn as we call it. There's a winter. And you go from winter to spring, but it's not like, winter to spring is not like snow and then the next day it's sun. It goes back and forth like the tide coming in. The tide comes in a little bit, then goes out, then goes in a little bit, then goes out. But it's coming more in than going out. And that's what it's like now at this age of Aquarius, where people are waking up. And you may find yourself in this time being in a nightmare of a life. I think we've all, especially now, the whole lockdown. I'm in Ireland, we're not allowed to go more than 5k. And this has been really difficult for people's mental health. I think a lot of people feel like they're in a consistent nightmare right now that they need to wake up from. But we are waking up, and through persistence and through concentrated effort, we are waking up. And more people, and it's slow. It's like you get control of your finger, then you get control of all your fingers, then you have control of your hand, then you have control of an arm. It's slow, it takes time, it's difficult. But I see the warriors of today. I see the warriors of today, and I can see they're all waking up. People are really waking up. And people are going to look back in this time as an incredible time where everything happened. And they might be planning the next lockdown, the next time of locking everybody down, the next attack on your mental health. But we're waking up, and a lot of people aren't, but a lot of people are. And it's just like this analogy he gives in Think and Grow Rich. It's slow and persistent. And even if you just want to get things you want to get in your life, it takes this slow, concentrated, day-to-day effort and persistence in order to get there. And I know, I'm building a YouTube channel now. And it feels, and I'm putting things on Pinterest and putting things out there on the web. And it feels like it's slow sometimes, but it's concentrating, building. It's building, it's building, it's building. And right now I get a comment. Put in a comment, by the way. Put in a comment. Right now I get a comment, and I'm like, I'm so excited. I got a comment. I got a comment today. It looked like a spam link, but I didn't care. I just wanted to. I was delighted to get the comment. Put in a comment. Just put in anything. It makes my day. And it's slow, persistent, building. It's working every day. It's working every day. While other people think you're crazy, and other people are like, why does he keep working? That's not going anywhere. And sometimes to you it feels like it might be not going anywhere, but it is building. The pressure is building. It's building and it's building. It's going to explode. It's going to explode eventually. So it's all in this book, Think and Grow Rich. He's talking about you've got to wake up from the nightmare. So if your life feels like a nightmare, and maybe it doesn't, maybe it's great. But if it does, it's about slow, day by day building. And it gets better and better and better. It grows and grows and grows. And for a long time, it might not feel like it's getting better. It might not. It might feel like you're wasting your time. But keep doing it. Keep working. Keep working. Because the pressure builds. And in this Think and Grow Rich book, it talks about there's something on the other plane that puts you through challenges. It's going to put you through challenges. And I know I've been through incredible challenges in my life. And I look at my kids and I don't want them to go through any challenges. I want their life to be easy. But I know they're going to go through challenges too. They're going through challenges right now. I'd much prefer if they didn't. I'd much prefer if I could do all the challenges for them, but you can't do that. But he's talking about persistence. And if you're persistent, he's saying, keep being persistent, because these challenges that they put you through, that you're put through, and you will be put through challenges in your life. I don't care if you're a billionaire or if you're the poorest person on the planet. You put through challenges no matter where you are. But if you're persistent, and your persistence is stronger than the challenges, sooner or later the challenges give up. You can't knock this guy down. Can't knock this guy down. I see it when I read about this and getting control of parts of your body while you're in the nightmare. I think about, I don't know if I want to say this or not, but I think about my own brother who had a stroke, and he could move. He began being able to move when he opened his eye. We thought he was gone. We thought he was gone. He was gone for weeks. The doctor told us there's 1% chance of him surviving. And even if he does, he's not going to be able to move. And then one day, we were in there and his eye was half open. His eye was half open. And then the next week we noticed he was slightly moving one finger. And we said to the nurse, it looks like he's moving. It looks like he's moving. And the nurse said, no, it's they're just spasms. They're just normal spasms that people get when they're in a coma. He's not moving. But she didn't know, and the doctors didn't know about his persistence, about the power he had inside. The power. The incredible persistence he had. And then we came in next week, he was moving an eye. He was opening his eye and closing it again. He was able to wink. His wife went in and he winked at his wife. And the feeling the feeling when he winked at his wife, it was just, I'll never ever be able to describe it. And then he started moving with his toes. He started moving more and more parts of his body, just like waking up. This was the worst nightmare that anyone could have ever imagined. Because when I look at what he's gone through, and I think about my challenges, and I have had challenges, but I look at what he's gone through and I think about my challenges, I think I am so selfish. How can I think these are challenges when I see what he's gone through? And it could be the same for you. Maybe you've gone through much worse things than I've gone through. But he started moving his hand, he started moving his arm, and he's to the point now, we're locked down, I can't even see him now, but he's out of the hospital, he's back home. It's unbelievable. Now, half his body was still paralyzed. But with help from physio and with his determination and persistence, his incredible determination and persistence, he started being able to walk. He's not able to walk, but he's got to the point now, one half his body was completely paralyzed, he couldn't move it. But he's got to the point now where he can walk with assistance with both legs, which is unbelievable. We never ever thought, we never ever dared to dream that we could have got to this point. And I know he's going to be able to move around, look after himself, and work again. I know he will. Because his determination, I said to him a number of times that if I ever have a stroke like that, I hope I die. Because I don't think I would have the same persistence and determination that he had. It's unbelievable. I don't know how he was able to do it, but he's walking. He's kind of walking. He's very unsure on his feet. He's unstable on his feet, but he's able to stand up. It's unbelievable. And he will be able to walk well soon. And I don't know what challenges you have. They could be even worse. But even if they're not, all the challenges are important. I could never imagine the incredible challenges that he had to go through. But I still have challenges in my life. And they're still a big deal to me, even though I feel selfish even considering them as challenges. But they are still a big deal. And I know whatever challenges you go through, they're a big deal. Life will be testing you in its own way. I think life, or God, or whatever you want to call it, or universe, whatever you want to call it, Allah, whatever name you want to put it to it, puts you through challenges. And it tests how strong you are. It knows how strong you are. It only puts you through challenges that you're strong enough to deal with. That's why my brother was put through that incredible challenge. And my challenges, even though difficult for me, have been easier. But how do you measure a challenge anyway? But check how strong you are. And if you're stronger, you're going to be put through more difficult challenges. So if you have the most difficult challenges right now, if you feel like there's no point going on, if you feel like this is a nightmare that you can't wake up from, just know the only reason you're put through those challenges because you're the strongest. Because the universe only gives you challenges that are to your point of breaking, but that you can deal with. So if you're going through the worst challenges right now, just know you're stronger than me. And just know that you have the strength to go through it, because the universe wouldn't give it to you if you weren't strong enough to deal with it. But his Think and Grow Rich book from 100 years ago talks about the power of perseverance and the power of dealing with these incredible challenges we're all given. Life isn't perfect. And when you look at everyone else's life, the Instagram veneer highlight reel of their lives, they all look perfect, don't they? They're not. They're not telling you. They're not telling you about the challenges. Notice the way I got to the end of this video when I didn't tell you any of my challenges. Because the challenges are personal. And I can see other people's. But just know that when you get those incredible challenges, you're only given them because you're strong enough to get to the end of them. This has been Alan here from Looking for a Warrior, talking about the power of perseverance from the incredible book from 100 years ago, Think and Grow Rich. Now do me a favor, I want you to subscribe to the channel.